Hi. Do you have any long-standing problems or goals that you've tried to achieve over and over and over again, but you kept getting thrown off your game and you've just never been able to make it happen? If so, I've got a solution for you in this episode of Off the Shelf with Dr. Hanks. That's me. I do this segment. It's designed to be just one lesson, one life lesson from between the pages of books off the shelf, and it's inspired to just provide short, under 15 minutes discussion about something in a particular book that may be helpful for you. Because look, we know reading is a characteristic of very successful people. People who are successful read a lot. And the challenge is that a lot of times you don't have a lot of time to read, and if you do have time, you may not know exactly which books are the best books that are going to relate to you. You can get interrupted, and it's sometimes hard to get any good information in a short period of time. In other words, you may have to read 100 pages to find one little gold nugget that applies to you. So we uh, we designed this segment to be just a short, under 15 minutes, one life lesson a week from the pages of books off our shelves, and hopefully we can help you continuously learn, stay engaged with what's being written and what's out there available. And then when you have time to do some reading on your own, that'd be great. Have at it. But so in this episode, this is bumpers, and again, I know this is backwards to you, but I don't know how to fix that just yet. I'm still getting going on video. I've always written everything and never had these challenges, but anyway, I'll get it fixed. We'll figure it out. But this is called Bumpers. It is a very small, short book by Nic Peterson, N-I-C, no K, Nic Peterson, and it was actually just written. It was just published in 2023, so it's relatively uh, current or new. And what he talks about is, I guess, bumpers, and I didn't know this. Bumpers are the things they cover the gutters with in bowling, so that the ball won't go into the gutters. I mean, I guess they do that maybe for kids or for training or practice. I don't know. I don't know why they would do that, but that's what bumpers are, and that was kind of the focus of his, or the concept of his book, is that if you want to be successful and reach your goals and up your game, you have to understand how to put bumpers over the gutters in your life so that you're not rolling gutter balls. And I'm going to kind of switch that up just a little bit and put it into my own perspective as I felt when I read it. Um, just because I'm not Nic Peterson. It's a great book, great read. Definitely try to get your hands on a copy of it if you can. Um, but I started thinking about this concept of gutter balls, and it's what he's saying is if you know what is causing it, you can um, put things in place to counteract that, and I do believe that's true. Um, but when I'm looking at how would you want to avoid gutter balls, when, because in the game of life you can't just cover up your weaknesses like you can, like gutter helmet on your gutters outside. You can't just cover up your weaknesses in your life, because you have to learn how to deal with those things. And if you didn't, like, and going back to the bowling thing, if you didn't want to have a lot of gutter balls in your game, then you would be practicing your technique. You would be studying the lanes. You would be practicing your form. Um, and, I hate to say it in this type of language because of current events, but there, we can't rule out that the game could actually be rigged and that the lane maybe isn't 100% level. I don't know. Uh, I think that happens a lot. And when you think about certain situations where you've been given a chance to really succeed and perform and do something great, but you were not really set up for success. You were set up with so many issues and challenges that, you could basically just say you were set up to fail. Or, maybe let's give people the benefit of the doubt and they didn't do it intentionally to set you up to fail, but you were not set up for success. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to venture that even the people who bowl on a regular basis, let's just say, I'm going to say that everybody has gutter balls. Everybody occasionally has a bad, roll, and it goes in the gutters. Those aren't the things we can't completely eliminate, but I think as you practice and as you study and as you put in the hours, you will definitely improve your game. And that kind of goes back to the book that we were talking about last week, The Dip, by Seth Godin. It's that the practice and the hours and the discipline and doing it over and over again and learning and, putting in the hours, the thing is, that is oftentimes the dip that Seth Godin and we talked about last week. That is the dip. And because nobody's watching, nobody's cheering you on. There's no big game at that moment that you're trying to win, or you're not going to get a trophy for practice. So those are the times when you really have to put in the discipline and you have to work hard and do all the things even when nobody's looking. And so that kind of ties into what we talked about last week. But we know that just practicing and putting in the hours and having the discipline, sometimes that's not enough. And if we switch gears to like a team sport, as I was preparing for this episode, I started thinking about basketball, and I guess football, but I don't really follow football as much. I don't really follow any of them, let's be clear. But when I was growing up, I watched a lot of basketball, so I understand the game better than any. So here's the thing. I remember this big debate among coaches who would put their focus of attention for their players on different areas of practice and work. And the question in my mind is do you win a ball game because you scored more points, or do you win a ball game because you kept the other team from scoring? And so that highlights the fact that your discipline and your ability to do both and to diversify your focus is important, because if you can keep the other team from scoring even one basket, then it only takes one for you and you win the game. But I mean, in real life, we know that's never going to happen. There's going to be scoring that gets through. The point is that you have to put yourself into the context of understanding that if you go out onto the court and you think that the only way you can win the game is to shoot baskets, that's going to completely change everything about how you play the game, and you're not going to do anything on the defense side well enough to keep the other team. And that's when you have just these high scoring events, which it's great at entertainment, which is I guess what it's probably for. But you have the high scoring games because everybody's just focusing on shooting their own baskets, and then whoever just happens to have the most at the end wins. The more strategic games, the ones that are maybe nail biters to watch, are the ones where the teams really go out and they understand that they have two sides of work that they have to do. They have to be on the defense as much as they do the offense, and they want to try to keep the team from scoring as much as they possibly can, while they also focus on their own. So what does that mean for you, what that means is that a player could be in the basketball court shooting baskets, practicing shooting balls all day long every day. But that is not enough. That is not going to be his skill level at shooting is not necessarily going to be enough to win the game. And that's where I want to put that into context with you. If you have this goal, and I suggest you just for the purposes of this lesson, let's just think of one, goal. If you have a goal that you have tried repeatedly to accomplish, and you start again, stop again, start again, stop again, the question is what is it exactly that is causing your balls to go in the gutter? What is it that's causing you to get off track? What is it that's throwing you off of your game? It's important to identify that and name it, because that's your defense part of your game. Of course you want to practice your, whatever it is you have to do in order to achieve your goal. But equally as so, that's your offense. What do you have to do? That's your offense to achieve your goal. But your defense is going to be, what do you have to also do to eliminate the gutter balls? What do you have to do to keep that from happening, to stop being knocked off your game? And whatever that looks like for you, the thing is when you are eliminating the chances of being knocked off your game, you're giving yourself a solid foundation to work from, which means that you have the creativity and the freedom to go after your goals and focus on doing the things that you need to do in order to achieve it. Once you get whatever it is these gutter balls are for you, what is the one thing that keeps throwing you off of your game? That's a gutter ball. What is throwing you off of your game when you try to achieve a goal? Once you can answer that, think of it as a form of defense and shoring up your foundation, shoring up your support and your starting point. Because you can then, if you don't have to worry about, getting knocked off your game, then you can focus on all of the things you need to do in order to achieve your goal. So I think, this is a big topic to try to cover in 13 minutes. We are at 13:12, 13. But, reply to the email and let me know, what is a goal that you've been struggling with? What are some things you think might be causing you to get knocked off your game? What are your gutter balls? Think about what could be your gutter balls. Reply to my email. I actually love to get creative. I'm very good at creative problem solving, and maybe we can figure something out to give you a plan that will set you up for success and will make your practice and your hours you put in and the hard work and the sacrifices when nobody's looking, let's maximize what you get for that and really set you up for success by eliminating some of these things that are knocking you off of your game. If nothing else, we can prepare for it, recognize it, know that it's coming, and have a plan and prepare for it so that it doesn't knock you off your game. Maybe you can't eliminate it from happening altogether, but you can change how you respond to it, which will continually set you up for success in your goals. So that's a big lesson right there. Bumpers. Nic Peterson, published 2023. Highly recommend it. And so let me know. What are your gutter balls? I'd like to help you fix that.